欢迎你收看今天文茜的世界周报。我今天仍然在 Coco Chanel 的 apartment 为大家录制文茜世界周报。对我而言，坐在 Coco Chanel 的椅子上是一种荣耀，是一种鼓励，也是一种感叹。如果你在电视机前面的人，你觉得你的生命曾经绝望过，你觉得你的童年非常的悲惨，你觉得你遇到了人生最大的挫折，那让我告诉你，这个公寓的女主人所经历的一切，可能都比你更加的悲惨。当然，她唯一幸运的是，她诞生于法国，这个国家给予了一个时尚产业可以支撑的可能性，但是她却是这个国家最底层、最悲惨的人。她连爸爸都没有，11、12岁的时候连妈妈都没有。她是一个在这个阶级非常严明的社会里头备受歧视的女性。在这个公寓里头，我为大家介绍一个不属于法国，但也不属于美国，她现在居住在美国那个地点的另外一个伟大的女人。这个女人的名字叫做 Zainab。事实上，这次让我决定，即使我在生病期间，也一定要带着我很疲惫的身体到纽约的，正是这个女人给我的力量。这个女人名字叫做 Zainab。她事实上，她的家族跟萨达姆·胡塞，就是伊拉克前任被伊拉克战争中最终被受审判吊死的萨达姆·胡塞的关系相当的深。他们家里呢是伊拉克的贵族。什么叫伊拉克的贵族？他们可以有私人的飞机，开宾士的车子，他们每天都在玩 party， 他们的日子跟伊拉克悲苦的民众完全不同，但是他们同时也生活在恐惧当中。他们很靠近萨达姆·胡塞，但是只要萨达姆·胡塞不喜欢他们的笑话，萨达姆·胡塞对他们有任何的不满，他看到很多跟他们类似的人，马上就被处决。他的妈妈眼看着这个女儿慢慢的长大，越来越漂亮，萨达姆·胡塞很喜欢她。他的第一部车 Toyota 车是萨达姆·胡塞送的，因为有很特别的颜色，全伊拉克的人，尤其在首都的人都在看说，哇，这个女孩开了哈山送给她的车子。然后萨达姆·胡塞几乎每个周末都请她到萨达姆·胡塞的招待所去玩。他的妈妈很担心他即将被萨达姆·胡塞染指，因为他知道跟着萨达姆·胡塞的女人一点都不叫荣华富贵，你很可能明天就被处死。他的母亲没有告诉他女儿任何原因，把她嫁给了一位回教的伊拉克后裔，但是拥有美国公民身份的回教商人。于是呢，她19岁的时候被妈妈呢强迫送到了美国。那送到了美国去以后，这个回教商人的丈夫就不断的殴打她。4个月之后，她离开了这个家。她告诉我说，她离开这个家的时候是一个很讽刺的局面。她身上穿着 Escada 的名牌衣服，2个箱子里头全部都是奢华的名牌衣物，但是她只有400块钱美元。她的人生从哪里开始呢？她去当一个卡片，叫 Hallmark 卡片 HALLMARK， 很多人买过这家的卡片。她去当那家卡片的什么事情呢？她去当那里的销售员，而且这个销售员还不是卖卡片，是前面收现金的。她刚开始的薪水只有400块钱美元，300块钱美元左右。然后后来她终于累积到1点钱以后，她开始去上大学。上大学的时候，我们常常觉得说，一个人要做慈善事业，一定要等到你自己有足够的事业基础。他一点都不这么认为，因为他在学校大学念书的时候学到了什么叫犹太的屠杀，然后他眼看着伊拉克所有悲惨的命运，他看到了 Bosnia， 就是当时 Bosnia 正面临了屠杀的情况，他打电话到慈善机构说我要去当志工，然后慈善单位跟他说，现在那里太乱了，我们得等6个月之后才去。他什么6个月？这是种族屠杀，6个月就杀光了。于是他就决定自己只有30块钱的月薪美元的时候，30块是多少钱？等于1万多块。我们台湾的年轻人说，你22K 觉得你很惨，但这个女孩子觉得她虽然只有1万多块钱的台币，而且是在美国生活，她觉得她至少拿出1/10来帮助这些 Bosnia 的妇女，因为她知道战争中创伤受最深的常常是妇女，她们不止被杀，还被强奸。然后她说服了她身边的人，很多人笑她，但说服了33个人。她开始了一个叫做救援妇女的组织，英文叫 Women for Women。 在纽约的时候，我采访她，她魅力无穷，真的好漂亮，2个眼睛也没有办法离开她的身上。她说她在救援这些妇女的时候，从她们身上学到了非常非常多的事情。访问这位女子给了你无比的勇气。那么她后来救援妇女组织呢，发展到今天，她已经救援了战争后受创伤的妇女高达32万人。她得到的捐款很多，包括洛克菲勒的孙女，包括华伦巴菲特巴菲特的儿子，都是她的赞助者。她被选为全世界100大有影响力的女人，而所有的故事都得从她的月薪只有300-400块美元，她愿意捐出1/10的一个荒唐而了不起的梦开始。
故事要从一张照片说起。凝视这张照片，我们几乎有超现实的感觉。生前暴虐、多疑、滥杀无辜的伊拉克前独裁者海珊，出现在一张你我都会拥有的生活照中，而且笑容如此和煦。照片里的小女孩天真的笑着，浑然不知这个她唤作叔叔的男子，几年后将使她的世界发生天摇地动的变化，彻底扭转了她的命运。
Tormented me to have this. I was so afraid to say I knew Saddam Hussein because I felt if I tell you that I knew Saddam Hussein, my face will disappear, and that all what you will see is him because he's such more powerful figure than I am. And so I grew up everyone being scared of me for being the daughter of Saddam Hussein's pilot. That was my father's official job. And I was afraid of everyone else. You know, everyone was afraid of me and I was afraid of everyone because you never know how to, who's going to report on who. Iraq was the republic of fear, indeed.
像一株艳丽的花朵，小女孩逐渐盛开，美丽的姿态让海珊觊觎。
Well, it wouldn't be. It was very confusing for me because I saw him as uncle, and my mother panicked when I started becoming a woman. And he would make comments about me being, he once told her, your daughter is a very beautiful woman. He gave us a ride to show us his homes in his palace compound, and my parents panicked. So everything that I think it was normal, you know, just my father's friends was showing, my parents were like, go crazy. And so I don't, you know, it's less, I don't know, you know, at that point I was a child, you know, now as a woman, I understand why my mother panicked.
万分担心女儿被暴君染指 ，Zainab 的母亲安排她远嫁美国，嫁给一名伊拉克裔美国人。
And I was angry at her for 9 years because the man I married was 13 years older than me. He ended up being abusive, verbally and physically. And he made me do all the things my mother told me don't accept. You know, he told me a woman's role is just to clean and cook and have babies. And I was like, my mama told me not to do that, you know. So everything my mother told me don't accept, this man was trying to do it to me. And so it took me 3 months to understand that I need to leave.
Zainab 提出和丈夫离婚时，时机正好遇上第一次波湾战争，伊拉克入侵科威特，战事爆发，远在伊拉克的父母不知下落何方。
And that's when I left. I just turned 20 with $400 in my pocket. And that's all. And nice clothes. No, it was in Chicago. So I had very nice clothes, 2 suitcases of Armani and Escada, but $400 in my pockets, you know. And
your husband is a wealthy businessman.
Yes, but I basically left with just saying I just wanted a divorce.
在 Women for Women 位于纽约中城办公室 ，Zainab 坐在她最爱的橘色沙发上，回忆起23年前的往事，深邃的黑色大眼仍流露出当年她毅然离开的勇气。
It was courageous of me to do it as a young woman with my family back home, and I didn't know what to do. But that's how I started my life in America. And I remember saying, I will make it on my own, and I will stand on my feet. And one day I will go home and help women back home. And that's exactly where I am today. I sat working as a cashier at the Hallmark for the first time in my life to work.
Where?
In Hallmark, you know, for the holiday cards. And then I start selling at the Limited, so sales lady at the Limited. And the funny thing, these are like at the Limited, it's like H&M. It's low prices, you know, for the clothes. But my clothes was very expensive. So I'm wearing $1,000 jacket from Escada or whatever, but I was selling, you know, $20 or $50 shirts. But I was so excited because it was my first time to stand up on my feet and earn my income. So the first nights, you know, I would wake up in the middle of the night and just type up in the in the cashier.
What have happened when the Persian Gulf War have happened?
That was a very tough time in my life and many Iraqis' life. From my perspective, first, my mother called me the night before the war. And from Iraq. It's my first time to talk with her in 6 months since my wedding. She doesn't even know I left my husband. That was a devastating period for me because I was in America, the country that was fighting my country, Iraq, you know, watching on the news my country where my family is living.
Might be killed.
Absolutely. I cried all the time. And I remember my mother sent me 3 months later during the war, she sent me a letter through a British journalist and describing what they were living in. And it was a horrible, horrible conditions that they were living in. And so it got leaked. The family relative that I was living with leaked it to the press. It was front page of LA Times. I got a lot of media at that. You know, I was 6 months in America, 8 months in America, and the media was talking with me because I was looking at it from the humanitarian story. I was like, who's going to build my mother's heart? You know, Kuwait, buildings you can build, you know, but who's going to fix the damage, emotional damage that we have done? And it took me 9 years that my mother ended up coming back to America because she was very ill and she was going to die. And she ended up dying. But the year before her dying, where she was staying with me and I was taking care of her, I started talking. I was like, and I started telling her that, why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me? You know. And that's, for me, the process of my mother's death, that period. She gave me the most precious gifts in my life. She told me why, she pushed me out just to save me.
对 Zainab 来说，母亲可说是这生中影响她最巨大的人。妈妈的照片就放在 Zainab 办公桌上，时时刻刻陪伴着她。
She handled her death in a most dignified, beautiful, dignified way that we would talk about it in a very open way. You know, what's going to happen, so I'm just, it gave me my peace and in my healing. You know, she gave me my story back because up until then I did not know what my story was like. Why did you do this to me, you know?
So what is your feeling when you watch the TV of this Iraq, George W. Bush declared the war to Iraq, and finally the man you call uncle, and you're scared of him, you know, he is a dictatorship. But after that, we all know that's not a decent war.
Not at all, you know. I think
Saddam Hussein was
hanged, right?
What is your feeling?
Well, first of all, I think Saddam Hussein was indeed a horrible dictator. He was like fog of fear all over our time. We all feared him. He suffocated us. So, period. He killed businessmen like this. He killed politicians. He killed
his
relatives. If you say a joke against him, he killed you.
Okay.
I'm serious. So, he was a horrible man, period. And to get rid of him, the Iraqis should be the one who gets rid of him. I was against the invasion of Iraq and the war. 100% is to have the Iraqis be the one who own the change of their lives. Do you see what I mean? It's let us be the owner. When he was arrested, Saddam, I was training Iraqi women on how to be in political system, how to run for elections. So I was in Jordan giving training of women on now we have, okay, let's make sure that women are in the political process, you know, to make sure that and I remember the scene. I was with 30 women and someone said Saddam got arrested. And they put it on TV and everyone was clapping and laughing and all of that. And I have to tell you, I went on the corner of the room and started having tears in my eyes for two reasons. Partially because I did not want me to be someone who's vindictive, like, yay, you know, he destroyed my family, now I was worried about me. It's, you know, it's not about him. I don't want to be this kind of a person. And the second part is, there is part of me that knows him as uncle. I will lie to you if I just tell you I don't like him, you know. So I know him as uncle. We ate with him. I spent every single weekend in my teenage life seeing him. And the same thing when he got executed. So the execution, I think, was such a wrong political decision that moved his image from being the villain to the victim. We should have given him a full trial for two reasons: to tell the history of what he did. He massacred people, he destroyed people, he gassed his own people. A full trial would make the whole world and for Iraqis to know exactly our history. By killing him the way like they killed him, which is very fast, overnight, on the eve of our holiday, of our religious holiday, they basically did exactly what he would do. What he did. They repeated the cycle. They did not get out. And he handled himself with dignity. He just said the prayer, and all the Arab world right now, they can, no matter how much I tell people he was a bad man, he really killed and prosecuted and raped more women than you can think, they say yes, but the way he was killed is wrong, so we sympathize with him. And it was a very, very wrong political decision. On a personal level, I cried. I have to say, he is someone I know, and I would worry about my own humanity if I would tell you I did not cry.
痛苦与残缺使 Zainab 的生命更圆融，更能体会生命的美好和喜悦。20多年来，她以一颗炙热的心协助战区受害妇女。她源源不绝的能量，不但替自己谱写精彩动人的故事，更扭转了许许多多人的命运。故事还在继续。